This is the continuation of Standard 10 Political Science, Chapter 2, the Electoral Process. Now, we move on to the chart. Process of elections. Establishment of constituencies, finalizing voters list, nomination of candidates and scrutiny of their nomination forms, election campaign, actual voting, counting of votes, results of elections, resolution of disputes regarding elections. What is a code of conduct? To ensure free and fair elections in India, the Election Commission has adopted several measures. The Code of Conduct is one of the measures adopted by the Election Commission. In the last few decades, the Election Commission has used its powers to control malpractices during elections. The Code of Conduct explains the rules that are to be followed by the government, political parties, and voters before elections and during elections. Even the government cannot violate these rules due to the strict observance of the Code of Conduct. In the last few elections, the common voters have become confident. Now next is challenges in conducting free and fair elections. If we take into account the size of a country and the number of voters, conducting elections becomes a truly challenging task. The Election Commission has to work in accordance with the law while dealing with these challenges. Misuse of money takes place to a great extent during elections. The Election Commission has to take several measures to stop such a misuse of money. Many political parties give election tickets to the candidates with criminal background. This results not only in criminalization of politics, but the Election Commission also faces problems in ensuring that elections are conducted in free environment. Another major challenge is violence during elections. The extent of violence has increased significantly during elections. All political parties should help the Election Commission to control this violence. To retain a continuing influence on politics, leaders give election tickets to their own relatives. This practice creates a family monopoly in politics. Next is electoral reforms. Elections is a continuous process. The future of democracy depends on elections. Electoral process becomes reliable if election process gets improved. Some reforms are to increase participation of women in politics. The political parties should give 50% candidature to women candidates and try to ensure that they get elected. Political parties should not give candidature to candidates having criminal background. They should strictly follow the decision given by the courts in this respect. The government should take care of election expenses to ensure that political parties will not make misuse of money and mismanagement of money during elections can be stopped. Representation of the People's Act should be amended so that candidates having criminal background would not be able to participate in elections. Next is, at the time of first elections, preparing the voters list was a challenging task as many people were illiterate. The special procedure of voting was used during elections. 20 lakhs steel boxes were made for voting purpose. Election symbols were stuck on the boxes. The voters were given the blank ballot papers which were supposed to drop in the box having the election symbol of the party they wanted to vote for. This system ensured that even the illiterate people could vote. We move on to journey from ballot boxes to EVM machines. The first election in independent India was held in 1951-52. This was the beginning of shaping of democracy through electoral politics. In the initial elections, ballot boxes were used for the purpose of voting. The use of EVM machines started from the decade of 1990s. Many things could be achieved because of voting machine. If the voters do not want to vote for any candidate, they could choose any option of none of the above. This option can be given only because of the voting machine. It has become easy for disabled people, Divyanga, to vote. It reduced the cutting of trees for paper and thereby helped in the protection of environment. It has also been possible to have an early declaration of election results. Next is general elections. Lok Sabha elections held after every 5 years are called general elections. Midterm elections. If the elected government loses its majority before completing its term in the parliament or if the parties of the coalition government withdraw their support resulting in the loss of majority support for the government and if no alternative government is possible, then elections are held before the completion of the term. They are called mid-term elections. By-elections. If any elected representative in Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha or the local self-government resigns or due to his/her death, his seat becomes vacant. The elections are held for that vacant seat. This is called a by-election. Election Commission established an expert committee on 8 October 2010. It was decided to add a new facility, voter verified paper audit trail in EVM machines. All political parties supported this. Because of this facility, the voters can verify whether the vote cast is registered properly. The purpose of this important step is to stop malpractices in elections.